About 30 years ago, my husband Michael, Michael's best friend Larry, and Michael's grandmother and myself were going to go to Walt Disney World in Florida. I was so excited because I had never been. We wanted to go Wednesday through Sunday, and my lovely boss would not give me off Wednesday. I know, boo, right? So Tuesday night, I pack everybody up. We go to the airport. Off to Florida they go. So I come home that night, get my PJs on, getting all ready to get ready for bed. And at the time, we had 3 Cairn Terriers. If you don't know what a Cairn Terrier is, it's a Toto dog. Wizard of Oz, little Toto. So we all got ready for bed. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear the little dogs getting all kind of anxious and they need to go outside. And we didn't have a dog door at the time, so we would just crack the side door and let them go out and do their business and come back in. So I let them out. I sat on the bed, and then I laid on the bed, and then I fell asleep. All of a sudden, barking and crazy ruckusness starts happening, and I thought, oh my gosh, I fell asleep. So I go outside. We have a deck, so I walk to the end of the deck. No dogs. And I thought, where did they go? So as I look out, in the very, very far top left corner is our gate, and it's opened. And I'm thinking, these little guys are about this big. They could not have opened the gate. And we had one of those arms that open and close to lock the gate. So I thought, okay, I need to go close it. So I'm walking down the steps, going towards the back fence. And about 5 feet to the fence, I just stop. And there's a man on the other side of the fence. And I thought, oh my gosh. So I stood there for one moment. I started shivering. And then he goes, is Kim up? Well, I'm Kim, thinking he might know me if he didn't ask if my name is Kim. So I said, excuse me? And he said, is Kim up? And I said, who are you? And he said, I'm Lou. Like, I'm supposed to know who Lou is, right? So I decided to go 10 more feet. Why, I don't know. Closed the gate and locked it. Then I turned to take the longest, scariest walk of my life back to my house. Walking slow because I'm thinking, Kim, no rash movements. Maybe he will not jump the fence and come get me. While my other brain is saying, you're done. This is it. You're out of here. So I get to the deck. I get up to the door, close and lock it, and then I just freak out. And I'm thinking, what is going on? So I go to the phone. The first person I call is Michael in Florida. So I'm talking and I'm babbling and I'm crazy and I'm scared. And he's going, Kim, just stop. And I was like, what? He said, you need to hang up and dial 911. And I said, what? He said, you need to dial 911. And I promise you to this day, if he had not told me that number, I would have never remembered it. So I hang up, I dial 911, I get the operator, and again, not wanting to do anything twice, I speak very slow, my name, my address, what happened, because I did not want to tell her twice. So as we're talking, I could tell that she was about to let me go. And as she did that, the door starts knocking. Bang, 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 bang. And then it went, dut, 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 dut. And I was like, he's at my front door. And she was like, well, we got people coming. And I said, but you can't let me go. And she said, but people are coming. I said, he's at my front door knocking. And so she finally, reluctantly, stayed on the phone with me. So our house was really old. If the guy really wanted to come in, he could have kicked that door in and walked in and got me. The second thing is that we have windows all around the house. And I was in the kitchen. We only have one window, and I had made myself as small as I could in the dark, just waiting for the police to come. All the while, the guy is just still knocking. And shivering, shaking, it was like it was the last moment of my life. So on the phone, all of a sudden, silence. All I can think about is, what window is he going to come in? I keep waiting for the glass to break, for him to come in and get me. The silence was louder than the knocking. So about a minute later, I hear a motorcycle turn on. I hear it get revved up, and it races away. 30 seconds, a minute, bang, 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 bang. And it's the police. Thank God it's the police. So they come in. I tell them my story. Not a lot they can do. I don't know Lou. Lou doesn't really know me because he asked if I was up, right? So they took information. They left. And then I called Michael back so he could know what happened. So the first thing, I tell them what happens, that where we are, they can't help me probably find Lou. He said, well, I want you to know that I called Sid, our pastor, and he's out in the neighborhood corralling our dogs. I had forgotten all about our dogs. I just completely went out of my head. So thank God for Pastor Sid. He was out corralling our 3 little Cairn Terriers to get them back home. Then he said, you want me to call your sister? And I said, Brenda? And he's like, yeah. And I said, she's like 5'0". What is she going to do if he comes back? And he said, well, who do you want? I said, someone bigger. And he said, how about Jim Ogle? And I said, yes, we'll take Big Jim. So he called Jim. Jim comes over. I didn't have a lot to talk about. I was still just reeling through what could have happened and grateful for what didn't happen. So I told Jim, if you could just stay with me until I go to work, I would greatly appreciate that. Not a problem. So I go get dressed. The sun comes up. Big Jim and I, we leave our house. So the first thing I do at work, of course, is I call my lovely boss and proceed to tell her the story. No empathy at all. I'm pretty sure she thinks I made it up because I wanted the extra day off. And so I told her, I don't want to stay at my house by myself. Even though we're over the phone, I could see her, hands on her hip. Well, if you have to go, then just fine, go. Well, that is all I needed. Packed up my stuff, went to the house, got my suitcase, went to the airport. When I think back about this, I am so grateful for everybody in my corner. The 911 operator reluctantly stayed on the phone with me. The police showed up. I was so grateful for that. Big Jim, thank goodness for Big Jim that he showed up. And my sister, even though we did not call her at 3 o'clock in the morning, I know that she would have been there. And then, of course, Pastor Sid, he found all of our little dogs. Michael, though, really provided a calmness for me. Even though it may not seem like it, I could have been much more hysterical than I was, but he had a calmness that helped me really be okay with what happened or what didn't happen. The most important thing, though, that Michael provided me was the number to 911. Thank you.